Bill Maher, on his most recent episode of Real Time, took a shot, a justified one, at Donald Trump that I want to play for you over Trump's conditioning of California wildfire aid for voting law changes in California that he takes issue with. One of the more disgusting moves we've seen a president take regarding responses to natural disasters. Before watching Bill Maher, I want you to watch Trump and the context for all of this that now we've looked at a few times. While you do watch, please make sure to click the subscribe button.
You talked about conditions being placed on aid to California, voter ID and the like. Are there any conditions that you're going to put on aid to North Carolina?
We're going to do a lot for North Carolina. They've been very slow. I don't know why it's been so bad. This has been one of the worst I've seen. Katrina, of course, was something that obviously that was a long time ago. That was not good. But this has been very slow. I don't know if that was for political reasons because they lost the state. Biden lost the state. Maybe he felt he doesn't care. Maybe there were other reasons. I don't know. But this has been
lies on that, but then he transitions.
Very slow. By any standard, this has been very slow. And we're gonna make up for lost time.
No conditions you're going to push for aid.
Well, in California, I have a condition. In California, we want them to have voter ID so the people have a voice, because right now the people don't have a voice because you don't know who's voting, and it's very corrupt. And we also want them to release the water.
And that is false as well. But again, the number of segments we're doing on this, I won't explain every single time. So here is now Bill Maher's response to this. Take a look.
Also in the news this week, Donald Trump is president again, and he's only 13% contained. That's he's here in LA today. He's touring. Touring the fire zone. He saw all the pink flame retardant. He said, I had no idea this place was that gay. He's quite an expert on what we should do here about the fires. He said, I don't think we should give California anything, aid he's talking about, until they let the water flow down. Okay, first of all, you're not... I said I wasn't going to lose it this year. But... You're not giving us anything. We're Americans. Thank you.
Before playing more, that's the part that I really agree with and resonate with. I mean, all of that. But I'm saying that's the part that I wish I had articulated myself that way, which is you're not giving California something. They're a part of your responsibility, right? You're the president of the United States. California being the biggest state that pays more into the federal government than they get back in expenditures. So you're not doing them a favor, or you shouldn't see it as, well, if I'm going to go ahead and give you something, then you should give me something in return. Again, they actually give you more than most other states in return, tax revenue, that don't actually make that back in what's being spent by the federal government there. But that's your country. That's a part of your country you're supposed to be the president of. So that whenever you took the oath of office, that is a part of your obligation. A really nice way of putting it.
This isn't a casino and you're comping our room, okay? And he's obsessed as he gets obsessed with things like windmills. He's obsessed with this small fish called the smelt. Now, there is a story about this, and it's too complicated to go into. But, it's a fish. We changed the laws, environmental, whatever. He said, no wonder it's endangered. It's not getting any water. Okay, no, Don. The fish has the water because we took down the irrigation dams in order to... Oh, fuck it. Just do your dance and get out of here. Just do the dance and... But
I think that also embodies what bothers me so much about these discussions. The principle of it is the most infuriating part, obviously, withholding aid, making people suffer more because you want to get a political concession. But then having the conversation has an additional infuriating characteristic within it, which is you realize it's falling on deaf ears, right? So sometimes someone says something upsetting, but then you sit down with them, you talk about it, and you can tell they're listening. So they might not even agree by the end of it, but they're listening to you. Trump's not listening. MAGA's not listening. And so they don't really care. They don't care whenever I'm bringing up that they made these allegations against Biden. You heard in that clip, he made the allegation again that Biden was withholding aid for political reasons when that's not what happened at all. Didn't withhold aid at all. So how could he have withheld it for political reasons? And he did that again. And when I say, wait, you're saying that would be bad for Biden to do, right? You think he did it and you're saying it's bad. Okay? He didn't, but you think that he did. So if you thought that was bad, how do you not think this is extremely bad? Because Trump's actually doing it. But let's pretend Biden did it. Then, wouldn't it both be bad? No, because it's not about the principle of withholding aid for political reasons. It's the politics. If it's withholding aid to make blue California, even though there's a lot of Trump supporters there, that's the only thing they care about, just so you know, also, then they don't care because it's the blue state suffering. And do you notice how it's just not an equal thing? We don't do that. And actually, the governance, if we're going to make this about, well, you didn't govern your state well enough during the crisis or before, or you didn't have proper infrastructure for it, or all these things. Let's not get into that, red states. We have before, and it does not put y'all in a good light. When you take both of the cohorts of red and blue states, there's a clear group that's doing much better on average across essentially every single metric. And so we won't even do this to you, but I can tell you it's going to be really bad for you if we were to create this sort of precedent where when we start disagreeing with how a state is governed and we see problems, even directly with the response, we go, all right, well, now you don't get aid, or now we're going to withhold it until you change. But just like how when I say our democracy would collapse if we did what they did with elections and only accept them whenever we win, and we're only hanging on a thread with the life of our democracy because we will facilitate the peaceful transfer of power whenever we lose, and we will accept the elections whenever we lose. They go, okay, cool. I know you're going to do it anyways, so I'm going to take advantage of that by we'll be the ones not accepting, they'll say, accepting elections whenever we lose. But understanding you all won't allows for us to do so. We'll benefit from your dedication to our democracy, but we won't mirror it. Similar thing here. They know they can play these games because we won't respond in kind, right? We won't withhold aid for political reasons just because they did it. And it's getting exhausting living in an environment and a country where your own dedication to fundamentally decent principles gets you punched in the face without an apology over and over again with the understanding that you won't punch back. And I don't want us to, but it's really exhausting. Here is Bill Maher at a different point on a different part of this conversation.
Here's how bad the Democrats fucked up. Trump is cool now. He's not just the most powerful guy in the world and just made himself like the richest. Mm-hmm. He's actually kind of at 78.
Yes.
I mean, rappers like him.
Yeah.
The athletes are doing, I was making fun of him jerking off two guys at one time. And now he owns it, and they're doing it. I mean, the village people are gay for Trump now.
YMCA. He's always been a celebrity, Bill. He was a joke. He had The Apprentice. He used to do movie cameos. He did.
Okay, and that's something that I do think we need to figure out. Some people are acting like that means we just sort of, oh, well, he's become synonymous with America. I just think it should be a motivator for, if he was successful, one of the ways was through online ventures. Because I do agree with that. He made himself present culturally in a way this second time around that has caused a lot of people you wouldn't expect to just vibe with his whole thing, not even knowing the threats that he poses. Just sort of, I've seen him and heard him on a podcast, and he acted just like a bro. And we have to not take that for granted, the cultural winning. We got to win culturally while also winning politically with the advocacy that we're doing. And that means meeting people essentially where they are. And that's something the Democratic Party, in part because of the leadership being a little bit out of touch, needs to get in touch with. For sure. Because we're seeing right now play out the damage that comes of allowing him to successfully, dishonestly present himself to a lot of people as something that he's very much not. Share your thoughts in the comments.